Our idea at the beginning is that we're going to make it green, but it has to cost the same as any other color. This project originally began as a new building for the business school. It was only a business school. We revised it and gave a different proposal to the management board. In terms of square meterage, we actually built 3 times what they were expecting to build for almost the same amount. And the project went from $7.5 million to $10 million. But remember, we're building 3 times, and we have new sports fields, and we have many other things. The total project expense right now is a bit under $10 million. We achieved much more, and it was a big risk for the university. I remember in one of the meetings, people told me, how sure are you that you're going to achieve this for 750 million shillings, which is less than $1 million, less than 10 million? And I told him, I'm not sure. He said, are you going to risk our money? He said, yeah, I am. Because if you don't risk your money, you can't gain. Of course, you can lose it all, but you won't. So let me try our best. And the concept was approved. We went out for tender. At that time, I was abroad. I came back, and I saw everybody very gloomy. I said, what's the problem? He said, we opened the tenders. I said, that's wonderful. But what's the problem? Well, they came to 1.5 billion shillings. When you add everything up, consultancy and everything, that's roughly $20 million. And then I said, okay, now I understand. To try to pounce the project down into the money that the university had, we tried to change as much as we could. One of the things we changed is the way consultancy was done. So we reversed the normal incentive structure that consultants have in Kenya and many places in the world, by which people earn money as a percent of the project cost. When that happens, you have a perverse incentive built in. So consultants make more money the more they spend. So they may tell you they are for you, but the fact is that the incentives are not well aligned. So we went to the consultants back and we told them, listen, we're going to put an incentive structure by which you're going to have a fixed fee plus extra money if you help us save this much. So we inverted that thing. The first thing we did is change the way consultants are paid, and they agreed. And it was wonderful because now, instead of having them justify things that cost more money, we have them come and say, hey, by the way, I think we don't need that thing. And I think this thing is too big or too thick, which was very difficult before because every reduction meant also a reduction in their fees. So one of the things we did was, for example, say, okay, how can we save on carbon emissions? Well, the main things that produce carbon in a building like this one are steel, because steel, you don't produce it on site, but you have to manufacture the steel. And cement. Cement is a big producer, cement manufacturer is a big producer of carbon emissions. They say, okay, how can we reduce steel and cement? So we started looking for technologies that could help us do that. It was an Italian technology called U-boot. So what you see, except in this building, in this one here, but on all the other roofs, all the other slabs, they're flat and they're hollow. They have these plastic things inside, so they're full of air. Also, they're very strong, very stiff, and they allow us to make the building flexible. We can move partitions from any place to any other place. Other things that we did, for example, we reduced the amount of power needed to process water. So what we have is 3 water systems in each building. We spend a little bit more on the piping, just a little bit more, but we know that the operation of those things is smaller. We only treat the water to what degree we need it. So we flush, for the urinals and the toilets, we flush them with rainwater. We don't need to treat that other than filter the soil out. We have motion detectors in the room, so as people walk out of the room after 10 minutes, the light go off. So even if you leave them on, they still go off. We installed a BMS, building management system, so when I tell you we're consuming that power, it's because we're monitoring it all the time. And we have the graphs and everything. We're monitoring water flow, so we can tell if there's leaks in the pipes. Because at night, if toilets are flushing and somebody left a water tap on, then you see the water flowing. They say you're not supposed to see any water flowing after 10 p.m. So that helps a lot in saving operational costs. And one of the things that most people think is that green buildings need to be expensive. We found out that it's not true.